I spent $120 on a membership for Masterclass. Will it make me a better climber? Nearly 5 years ago, Alex Honnold, known most notably for free soloing El Capitan, and Tommy Caldwell, most notably known for his first ascent of the Dawn Wall, released a 14-part, 1 hour and 47-minute long masterclass on rock climbing. Oh, but Nico, the title of the video is I took Alex Honnold's masterclass, not I took Alex Honnold and Tommy Caldwell's masterclass. Oh, very observant of you. That's because you probably don't know who Tommy Caldwell is. I know who he is. I read his book, watched his documentary, and his real rock on speed climbing the nose of El Capitan, but the general public doesn't know the guy. And frankly, it's just a cleaner title. Okay, lay off me, imaginary viewer. I don't need you heckling me throughout this entire video. This isn't a late night stand-up show at a comedy club in the 90s. What's the deal with getting mad at me in the comments? It's called YouTube. You watch the tube. It's not called you comment. It's you tube. No, but do comment. It helps with engagement and makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. Alex and Tommy released this masterclass in 2021, a few years after Free Solo and the Dawn Wall had come out. Probably would have been more relevant for me to make this video in 2021, but I was busy wearing a t-shirt on my face and stockpiling all the toilet paper I could find so my neighbors couldn't comfortably use the bathroom. Luckily, I do that no matter what's going on in the world. Each part of the masterclass focuses on different elements of rock climbing, from climbing holds to footwork to balance and movement. I've been climbing for nearly 9 years now, and often feel like I'm hitting plateaus or improving at a slower rate than I should be. Looking at it from the outside, you might say this is because I only climb 2 to 3 times a week with no real goal in mind, just kind of hopping on whatever new boulder problems the setters at my gym put up that week. But I'm hoping that this 1 hour and 47-minute masterclass by 2 of the most accomplished rock climbers in the world will be able to provide me with information and tactics that I can apply to my actual climbing. And if not, Masterclass has a 30-day satisfaction guarantee, so by the end of the video, we'll see if I demand a refund or not. And for fun, I'm gonna have a little counter at the top of the screen to see how many things I learned. Every time I learn something new, we'll hear this noise. Yeah, I got a feeling we're gonna be hearing that a lot in this video. So let's jump into the first chapter, Don't Be a Gumby. For those unaware of what a Gumby is, basically what a noob is for gaming, a Gumby is for climbing. And for those unaware of what a noob is, basically what a kook is for surfing, a noob is for gaming. And for those unaware of what a kook is, basically what a Gumby is for climbing, a kook is for surfing. This part of the class goes over pretty basic things like the importance of climbing shoes, chalk, harnesses, and the different types of climbing. Nothing really of note here. Also, they mention how you can basically rent everything you would need at the climbing gym, which while that is true, doing so is almost always a telltale sign you're a Gumby. In this chapter, they also teach you about anchors.
So an anchor is complicated.
Very helpful. And after the first chapter, the counter for learning something new is still at 0. But this is expected. We're still at the beginner section of this masterclass. It's just a matter of time before we start learning new things. Let's move on to chapter 2, Learning the Ropes. This chapter goes over the many different types of rope climbing. We learn the differences between top rope and lead climbing. We're taught how to put on a harness, tie a figure-8 knot, and how to belay with a gree-gree. Sadly for Alex and Tommy, I already knew all that, so the counter remains at 0. And the next chapter is just basically them talking about El Capitan and their respective accomplishments on that big wall, which I also already knew because I've seen their documentaries and read their books. But the chapter after that, Footwork, really excites me. Footwork is one of the most overlooked skills in climbing, with climbers often overusing their arms and not relying on their feet nearly enough. Maybe I'll learn some new techniques I could actually apply to my own climbing. In this chapter, Tommy describes how when placing his foot on a small edge, he's imagining smashing ants.
I like to think of it like smashing ants. Like if there's an ant crawling on the hold, you want to step on that ant.
And he also recommends trying to climb as quietly as possible.
As in all footwork techniques, you want to use quiet feet.
Which is good advice, but for him, it's to
make sure you can hear the screams of those ants you're stomping on.
They'll tell stories to their younglings of the great big foot that slaughtered villages of ants. Paintings will be made by their tiny little insect hands, portraying the bloodshed of when you climbed your 5-7 project.
The rest of this chapter covers smearing, backstepping, toe hooking, heel hooking, drop kneeing, and knee barring. I'm starting to get a little annoyed I'm not learning anything new. I did pay over $100 for this. We're 5 chapters in at this point and we're still covering pretty rudimentary stuff. I mean, we have 2 of the most accomplished big wall climbers alive, and we're having them explain how to smear up the wall? Imagine LeBron James and Steph Curry are teaching you basketball, and all they're doing is describing what a basketball is. I'm getting mighty close to demanding that refund here, because so far I am not satisfied. But I'm an optimistic guy. I like to look at the bright side of things. I like to see the glass half full, so let's give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm sure the next chapter, Climbing Holds, dives into some more advanced topics.
A jug is the term for a very good, positive positive handhold.
Are you kidding? A jug? Really? We're having Alex Honnold describe what a jug is? I was joking about LeBron and Steph describing a basketball, but now we're actually doing it. This is basically what I do when I bring a friend to the climbing gym for the first time. Oh, what? Next they're gonna show me how to fall with my arms tucked in and my knees bent? Tell me not to climb a boulder problem that intersects with another climber's route while you're at it. Can we put the counter in the negative? Is that allowed? Of course it's allowed. I'm the one making the video. I have full control of this. I'm putting it in the negative. I'm realizing this masterclass might just not be for me. I've been climbing for close to a decade at this point, and I did the thing that many do when they start climbing. Watch every YouTube video you can find talking about climbing tips and tricks. I remember when I was starting to climb, watching videos from Bouldering Pobats, Manny the Monkey, and Eric Carlson bouldering. I'd watch their videos endlessly, learning the types of climbing holds and how to swap feet. This just feels like a higher production value and less informative version of those YouTube videos from 10 years ago. I don't know. Maybe I'm freaking out over nothing. I mean, we're less than halfway through the class. There's still plenty of time to learn something, anything even. Maybe Alex and Tommy could give me some drills or exercises to improve my climbing. The rest of this chapter is just Alex and Tommy talking about what a crimp, pocket, sloper, and pinch is. And I think if I made myself talk about it, I would scream, even more than I already have. So let's move on to chapter 7. But first, if you're enjoying this video, consider subscribing. I've been making these niche climbing videos for over a year now, and it's been really cool to see this small community grow. If you're already subscribed, I truly appreciate you. I know I joke around a lot, almost constantly. People in the comments sometimes say too much. But I don't know, to see people engage with the stuff that I'm making and enjoy it and want to watch more of it is a truly incredible feeling. Anyway, subscribe, like, comment, do what you want, live your life. Let's get back to the video. Balance and movement. Now this is what I'm talking about. We're past the beginner baby talk. Now it's time for us to really get into the intricacies of climbing.
A dyno is essentially derived from the word dynamic.
What are we doing here, guys? This is basically just a vocab lesson at this point. Here's what a pinch is. Here's what flagging is. Here's how to use a harness. Wouldn't it be more valuable if we actually heard Alex and Tommy's thought process on a climb? Like, what if we saw them actually projecting a climb? Hearing what their mindset is going into the climb? What tweaks they're making from attempt to attempt? Or what if they went through their warm-up or their hangboarding routine? I think that would be far more beneficial and more of an actual masterclass than what we've been given here. I'm sorry, I know I've been pretty negative here, and truthfully, I don't like this version of me. It's no fun to be so negative. I want to like stuff. Maybe I just need to adjust my mindset. Yeah, I've been looking at this from the perspective as someone who knows all this already, but maybe if I just tweak my point of view ever so slightly to someone who's never seen climbing before and has never been outside before, I would like this class more. Yeah, hey, let's try that. Okay, let's commit to that mindset and learn about dynos. Whoa, that's so cool. He jumps so high. What's all the blue stuff behind him? Oh, the sky. His shirt's blue. Is that also the sky? Whoa. Now it's a different guy. Where'd the other guy go? Did he die? Oh, he's just off camera. What's a camera? I don't have object permanence, and I can't comprehend a thing you're telling me. He's putting a hand in the crack. What's a hand? I'm able to point out things by name that I don't know, but that's as much as I can communicate. This chapter is actually more intricate than the rest of the class, but I already knew all this. I'm starting to break. Must stay positive. Time to learn about foot jams next. Let me guess, you put your foot in the crack and turn your ankle 90 degrees to lock your foot wedged in the crack.
Foot jams are when you turn your ankle, wedge your foot into the crack, and then sort of crank it.
Okay, I'd argue I explained it better, and I barely crack climb. Can't keep staying positive.
You should take advantage of any good footholds outside of the crack.
That's it. I can't pretend this is helping me any longer. I knew I had you all tricked. I was learning something new here, but come on. You're telling me to use footholds there because that's better? Are you going to tell me to grab big holds instead of small holds next? After the crack climbing chapter, there are 6 more chapters, each of which ranges from 5 to 8 minutes. And it's all pretty much the same as what we've seen. That learning counter is still at 0, or actually it's at negative now. And I have no interest in showing you the rest of this masterclass because I fear I would Hulk out. I don't want that, and you don't want to see it. The info that is given in this class is so surface level and basic, it's almost comical. I made an attempt to make it entertaining for you, the viewers. But frankly, I think if Masterclass had knocked on my door and asked me what I think should be included in a climbing masterclass, I would have been able to make a better version. And then I would have said, how did you get my address? Oh, when I subscribed to Masterclass, I had to give it to you? My bad. Sorry for raising my voice. You know what? I'm gonna outline what I think a good climbing masterclass would be. Now, I'm obviously not as accomplished as Alex and Tommy. I mean, you could argue I have virtually no climbing accomplishments. And it wouldn't be much of an argument because I would agree with you immediately. I'm not Alex and Tommy, but I'm gonna do my best and try to think what I would want to see in a climbing masterclass. So welcome to Nico's Rock Climbing Masterclass. I would start it off similarly, explaining the different types of climbing, what materials you need for each, but I wouldn't waste multiple chapters just talking about my accomplishments in climbing like what Alex and Tommy did. Instead, I would use that time to discuss how to actually improve in climbing. The Stephen Curry Masterclass does a really good job at giving actionable items you can apply to your training to improve shooting a basketball. And I would want to do a similar thing with climbing. Sections solely focused on finger training, ranging from exercises for novice climbers to pro climbers, teaching students of the class how to safely use a hangboard and a campus board once they've climbed long enough and have strong enough tendons. We could have a whole section on other training tools like system boards and spray walls, pinch blocks and crimp blocks. Another chapter I would want to include is mobility. Give examples of proper dynamic and static stretches for warming up and cooling down. Explain how to increase your shoulder and hip mobility. Perhaps we have some extremely niche exercises on how to increase your toe tension and heel hook engagement. Next, we could discuss the mental side of the sport. So much of climbing is problem solving after all. Being able to hear a professional climber see a boulder or sport climb and discuss what they look for when they're approaching a climb for the first time would be extremely valuable. How do they read a route and understand what the moves will be? How do they spot the crux of the climb? And how do they visualize the climb before they even touch the rock? I think that would be so much more valuable than hearing someone explain what a jug is. But the masterclass doesn't have to stop there. They could give a full explanation on what their weekly plan is. How do they break the week into climbing days that focus more on technique and endurance, and then days for pushing yourself to the limit on climbs? When in the week should you do off-the-wall exercises for muscles used while climbing and antagonistic muscle groups? You could then even go further by showing how to make a personalized plan for your goals in climbing. Would all this take a lot more work? Yeah, 100%. But I think it would be more effective and more helpful for beginners and people who've been doing it for as long as I have. I don't think it's that much to ask for a rock climbing masterclass to feel more than an intro climbing class. But truthfully, it might not be necessary because you can find basically everything I described on YouTube. It was all there for me when I was starting off, and now there are even better resources for climbers with YouTube channels like Hooper's Beta and Lattice Training. Experts in the field with a wealth of knowledge that are giving it out for free. So now we've come to the part of the video where I have to decide if I'm gonna demand a refund for masterclass. And the answer might surprise you. If you haven't been paying attention at all, of course I'm getting a refund. I'm absolutely not satisfied. And the fact that they advertise a monthly fee but then force you to pay for the full year is so sleazy. What's the deal with these subscriptions anyway? Hey, subscriptions, I got a deal for you. No deal, I'm done. Well, that was bad. Okay, bye.